Oh my god, the host just triple sat me.
Do you see whose food running?
56 was just sitting there making out the entire time I was trying to take
Why do we have
orders.
so many servers on the floor? Did you hear about 73?
This is a work of fiction. Any similarity to actual persons, living or dead, or actual events, is purely coincidental.
See, I check all of them, and then I don't go in all of them, but I kind of just, glance through, and then I hit the last one if it's open, and I use that one, and then before I leave, before I wash my hands, I get an extra paper towel or whatever, and I clean up anything that's on the floor, I push down the trash cans, and then I wash my hands, and then I leave. And if anything needs to be done, from the host or whatever, I go and get a host.
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey, I don't have a key to replace the toilet paper or the toilet seat covers, whatever. I cannot fucking fathom standing in there on my phone and then being like, hey, I gotta go. There was 70 pieces of trash on the ground. The trash can was bubbling over.
Every single stall had a bunch of shit in it, had their trash cans piling over.
I was
going to
use the last one, but it didn't have any toilet paper, so that's why I jumped to the one next to it.
Got it.
But I was laughing so hard. I was like, holy shit, girl, you did nothing.
Oh, she did fuck all. But at some point, like I said, she has to clean it before
I don't
she
know. Maybe
leaves
the
tonight,
busters
right?
do. I don't know.
They do one last cleanup of the bathrooms, you think?
Maybe she just said she did.
Right, but
if there's only guys on shift, though?
But eventually, if the busters do it at the end of the night, or if they do it in the morning, right? Our busters clean out the bathrooms in the morning. If they do that, they're going to be like, hey, that place is a fucking tip.
Yeah.
And
Which means a mess for anybody that doesn't
okay,
know.
relax. I'm very drunk. They're going to say, hey, this chick that closed last night didn't fucking clean the bathrooms
she did
ever.
fuck all. Oh my god, that was
you can't
wild.
get away with not doing that.
That was
you
absolutely
eventually have to
wild.
do it.
I've never encountered something like that. At least pretend that you're cleaning. Girl, grab a napkin and, pretend you're cleaning the fucking counters. Guests just walked in.
Yeah.
Regardless of what color shirt I'm wearing, I'm a guest.
Yeah.
How...
Just because I'm wearing an apron, it's not the same as yours, babe.
Yeah, that
I don't work here.
was outrageous. I didn't even know what to say. I just started laughing. I was like, I don't have words for this right now.
Yeah, that was wild. I thought about telling the manager, but then I was like, no, I don't really want to
Yeah, I'm not going to rat anybody out, but
yeah.
also that was fucking gross.
Yeah, that was really crazy. I remember talking to one of our bartenders. I was talking to him about using the guest bathroom and how we're really not supposed to use the guest bathroom, but the employee bathroom is more often than not very disgusting.
Fucking disgusting. There's piss everywhere. I fucking hate it.
It's very, very gross. I think the only time I ever really use the employee bathroom is when I'm on my period, so that I can clean up my disc in a sink.
Mine's if I have to do a lot of stuff to my hair. If I plan on fixing my hair for an extended amount of time, or God forbid, one day I hadn't done eyeliner yet or whatever, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna grab my eyeliner, go to the bathroom, and then finish it in the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I use the employee bathroom for that.
Yeah.
But the amount of cleanup I have to do before I can even use the employee bathroom, because it's one stall. It's
just a room.
Singular room.
Yeah,
It's
no
one
stall.
room.
It's just a
yeah,
room.
it's one room with a sink and a toilet, and that's it. And there's rarely toilet paper, there's rarely toilet seat covers, and the guys in the kitchen fucking destroy that shit.
Yeah, they do.
Not only do they rarely put the seat up, but even if it is up, you put it down, it's still covered in piss. Yeah. And there's piss on the floor. You want to know what I'm not going to do? Drop my pants and risk the bottom of my pants getting in that.
Yeah.
Fuck off. I'm using the employee bathroom, and if anybody wants to fight me about it, I will argue that to you.
You mean the guest bathroom?
No, I use the employee bathroom. I use the guest bathroom. That's what I meant. Yeah. Sorry. A little drunk. I use the guest bathroom, and if a higher up of any kind wants to talk to me about it, I will say, go ahead, you use it. Go to the back at any point tonight, and you use that bathroom.
Yeah.
And not on the one day that we fucking clean it a month. Please don't do that shit. No.
Yeah, I was talking to one of our male bartenders about the fact that, I always use the guest bathroom, and they were like, I never do. And I was like, really? And I was thinking about it. I was like, yeah, well, I guess it's a little bit different. I'm not standing in an open room.
Standing at
with
a
my
urinal.
dick in my hand and my apron up to my chin. Hey, what's up, dude? Hey.
Also, you always take your apron off before you use the bathroom. Come the fuck
of course
on.
you do. But it was one of those where it was a really funny image for me of
just post it up.
Yeah, of and then you go back to the bar and they come and sit down at the bar and you're just like, yo, what's up, dude? Yeah, that's different for us. We don't have to go through all of that.
Anyways, welcome back to Rolling Silverware. I'm Bunny.
I'm Kat.
And this is our post-shift shit talk.
And oh my gosh.
I'm fucking pissed. I'm so fucking pissed off right now. I've been holding this in for an hour. Holy fucking shit, I'm pissed. Tonight is the night before Easter Sunday.
Yep.
We have Easter Sunday coming up tomorrow, and I was told an hour ago that we have an opening manager and a closing manager.
And 2 of our other managers are off that day.
Are off that day. And a couple servers are also off, which is like, hey, that's cool for them, I guess. So apparently Easter is no longer a blocked off holiday, so you can in fact request the day off. To which my answer was, did you tell us that?
No, of course not.
Why would they?
Because then people would request it off. And
Perfect. Then you have to
it.
pick and choose. Sucks to suck. But so like 3 people have the day off, right? And good for them. And then, 5 people, because 2 managers, including our general manager.
Our general manager she was supposed to come in tomorrow.
She's scheduled.
She is scheduled. She just decided, I don't really want to do that. So she's not coming in. We have nobody to open the kitchen tomorrow morning.
No manager to open the kitchen.
No manager. Yeah, well, obviously we have kitchen guys. But we have no manager, no expo in the morning, which is Easter Sunday.
The busiest time of Easter
is going to be
brunch and lunch hours. And
Guess,
we have quite a few coming right at the moment that we open.
Yeah, we have 6 parties reserved the minute we open. And guess who is fucking hammer tomorrow morning?
You are.
Me, Beach. I'm not looking forward to it, but I very much have already let my management team know that I will be working at 1 speed.
Sure.
You guys understaffed. You guys fucked us over. But to be fair, on the floor, we are pretty staffed
Right.
up.
On the floor, it's going to be most likely fine.
It's not crazy.
And in the back of the kitchen, it will be probably fine.
Hopefully.
But everything else, as far as, like you said, the expo or anything else, like who's going to stand there? Who's going to
run
there?
food? Or do we have a runner?
Do we have a runner scheduled for 11 o'clock?
I don't think we do.
Also, what the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? We have an opening manager and a closing manager. Now, we do also have a mid who's going to be one of our brand new front of house leads.
Yep,
and I am not fucking looking forward to it at all. I didn't even realize that her training was done, because in my opinion, it's not.
I don't think it is. I think they are just putting her on the floor because general manager didn't want to work.
That's absurd.
And she cannot...
That's obtuse. I use my favorite word right now. That's fucking obtuse.
She can't properly speak to her own tables, let alone mine.
Somebody with a problem, and now she's my fixer?
Yeah, no.
She's my solution to my problem? Get the fuck out of here. I don't want to send her to a table, but also, with the way they've set it up, I kind of want every table to be a problem table. I want to have every fucking thing go wrong for every fucking table. Not for me, because obviously I'm there to make tips, but just to prove a fucking point.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I haven't been that pissed off leaving work. You know, I don't like usually leaving work, you know, you clock
it's a
out.
Happy time, yeah.
Yeah, I clock out. I'm fucking stoked to be out of here. Goodbye. I'll see you tomorrow at 4.
I made some money. I'm good. Yep.
I'm good. No, I'm fucking pissed. That's ridiculous.
Tomorrow is going to be a rough day. I fear it is going to be rough. And I let them know I'm going to be working at 1 speed. And honestly, if you guys, I have a 7th table, that's crazy. I'm going to go get bread for the 4th table that you sat me. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Like, at the end of the day, there's going to be so many people coming in, especially for the morning time. And
not only
your food's going to be cold. I'm sorry about that. Let me go grab a manager.
It's not only that, though. We have our 2... I don't want to say worst managers. Like, I don't want to say that. But also, like, our 2 most don't give a shit managers.
Yeah, the ones that are just kind of like...
brand new has never, in my opinion, has never done front of house, lead, or managerial position. She said she was a manager somewhere before, but with the way I've seen her handle things, she doesn't act like a manager.
No.
Like, I've known other people who have gone from management back to serving or whatever, or back to bartending or things like that, and they still act as though... Like, not in a better than thou kind of attitude, but they act, like, more proper and more just, like, aware of things.
Our longest bartender, the longest standing bartender that we have, she was a manager.
Right, she was a manager at her last job, and she acts like it.
And she acts like it, yeah.
She definitely puts her best foot forward with every table and every person that sits down, and even with us.
Yeah.
And she's very proper most of the time. Like, yeah, she's cool to shoot the shit with, but also she's very, you know, I'm doing this by the book, and I'm doing it the right way. And
if you notice, she doesn't have a whole lot of like outside relationships either. Like
No,
she
it's
keeps to
none.
herself very, yeah. Well, some of the bartenders that she brought over from her last job, she definitely, I think, has a closer relationship with them
Sure,
because
because she worked with them before.
she knows them,
Yeah,
right?
but I don't think this is a we hang
She-
out all the time.
No, I don't think she hangs out with them outside of work. And
Right.
she doesn't hang out with anybody that works with us outside of work. Like she very much still has that ingrained in her that this is her job and that's separate from her personal life. And good for her. Like I came in with the same attitude, just a lot more aggressive with it.
Way more. I'm here to work, leave me the fuck alone with it.
Yeah. And where she was like, I don't know. I'm gonna go home,
Right.
guys. Thank you so much. You know, she's very sweet, but yeah, like you said, you can tell that she was a manager at some point.
Yeah.
We have a lead server who does just works days. You can tell that she, you know, at one point was probably a manager
Right.
because
Well,
of
and
the
I
way
still-
she handles herself and the way she handles her tables.
Yeah.
And
I still hold a lot of that supervisor that I did. You know, I didn't do it for
Mm-hmm.
that long, but even the stuff that I learned from that, I can now handle tables in a different way than I ever could before I did that.
of course.
So I do speak to people a little bit differently when there's a problem, whereas before it was just, oh shit, sorry, let me go get somebody. And now I have more of that, like, hey, I'm definitely going to get somebody for you, but what can I help you with in this moment, you know? Because it's not my job to fix it, but also, can I fix it? You
Yeah.
know? And so there's definitely a little bit of that ingrained in me, even from the short amount of time that I did that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't feel that from Southern Peach.
No,
at all.
she does nothing but complain constantly. Like whether it's something in her personal life or something with work, all she ever does is complain. It is doomsday, doomsday, doomsday 100% of the time. Nothing else is ever like going right in her life.
Yeah, nothing's ever good, even on a good day, like where everybody's chilling and having, like, it's a vibe and everybody's having fun. It's never
it's a great
good
time.
day.
It's steady. Either she's way too like busy because she has 3 individual people at the bar top and oh my god, I can't function with my life, or she has nobody at the bar top and oh my god, it's so dead. I'm not going to make any money. Like every single shift, she finds something to complain about.
It's a problem either way.
I love complaining. It's my favorite fucking pastime.
I live for it.
Even I don't complain as much as she does.
No.
Like it's why I still have good days more
Yeah.
often than I have bad days. And even on my good days, yeah, I might find something to complain about just because, like I said, it's my
'Cause I
favorite thing.
can, yeah.
Right. And because I love doing it, but I still overall
I'm still having a good day.
Yeah,
I had a
it's still a
fine
good
day
day.
today, other than like 10 minutes worth of it, but it was still a fine day.
I did not. Oh my gosh. My first 3 tables sat down and they were my 11th, 12th, and 13th fucking reason. I was dead. So the first table sits down and they're all like talking over each other. And one guy really wants to, I don't know if maybe he just spoke slower than everybody else. He did have an accent. It was like almost like a Russian accent, right?
Okay.
So it was very much like, but it was like some type of European accent.
Sure.
And I think he just spoke slower than everybody else. And so his wife kept like talking over him, like, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. Stop. And then the other couple that they were with like kept talking over him as well. And then talking over each other. And I was just really trying to figure out like, do
It's
you
like,
want
I need
the
everybody to
chicken or
take
not?
a breath. Like, please
Right, it
relax one at a time, or at best 2 at a time.
It
Like,
was- right.
if you can't go one at a time, can you at least give me 2 things to write down and nothing more than that?
So that was like really frustrating. And, you know, they brought their own wine, but they were 2 different types. So I had to get them in, you know, instead of 4 wine glasses, I had to get them 8 wine glasses because they had a red and a white.
Right.
So I was like,
want
yeah, of
both.
course.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, of course you do. And
No, finish
so,
the red first, then you can start on that. Or finish the white first, then you can start on your red. Shut up.
yeah, so it was very much just one of those things where they took a lot out of me, but they weren't needy and they were nice.
That's good.
But it was just like conversing with them was kind of like, Jesus Christ. And then the second table, they walk in and the first thing they do is like argue. There's 2 couples again, and they were arguing over whether or not they wanted to sit outside or inside. One couple wanted to sit outside, one couple wanted to sit inside in a booth. And then the manager...
And they're already sat.
Well, no, they like at the host stand, they're
Oh,
arguing
okay.
with each other about where they want to sit. And then the manager jumps in like, oh, well, we have booths outside as well. It's like, shut up. I don't want to take care of them outside. And
Don't tell them that.
Right. And they end up sitting in my section, and one of them just felt like she hated me from the jump, and she was just like really rude to me the whole
You're
time.
too pretty. I've told you this before.
Okay,
You're too pretty.
today,
People hate you.
No, I know it was a Saturday, but I came in very sick Victorian child. Like that's what I was rocking today. It was very much, I'm a little lad who loves berries and cream.
No, come
okay. It was
It's not like that.
It was. It absolutely was. And it was just like, uncomfortable conversing with them because of like how rude she was being to me, but then the rest of the table was being like kind of nice. But then one guy sucked down his Coke within seconds and he goes, yeah, can I get another Coke? And I was just like, yeah, I haven't left your table since
I'm still standing here.
Yeah, I was like, I've taken your order and the time it's taken you to kill that Coke, and I did light ice. So give me a second.
Please.
Like,
Yeah, I promise you I saw you drink it.
right. And also, like, I know how to do my job. I'm assuming you want another Coke. You don't even have food yet. I'm going to go ahead and get that for you.
Yeah.
The only time I ask if you want another is if you get to 3 or 4 and
you're almost done eating, or you are done eating. And then I'm like, did you want another one?
Exactly. Then I'm going to be like, hey, did you want another one while we hang out? That's the only time I'm going to ask you if you want one. Otherwise, I'm just bringing you a free refill of whatever the fuck you got.
Right.
If it's a free refill, you're getting it regardless.
Yeah.
I
Drink
know
it
how
or
to,
don't. I don't
yeah, I know how to do my job. Shut the fuck up. And then the third table.
The third table was a problem.
71 sits down. It's a couple who are regulars. They come in quite frequently. And they always bring like random people with them. And so they brought this lady with them today. And they sit down and I walk up, and before I finish giving them my motherfucking name, this chick that they brought with them looks at me and goes, you guys don't have like cooked oysters on the menu? And I go, oh no, we took those off a couple years ago. And she goes, well, who do I complain to about that? Because I know you have an oven. Why don't you just bake them for me? And
it's not on the menu.
100% thought she was joking and started
Sure,
laughing.
I would have.
And I started like giggling, and then she like
Mad dogged you?
Yeah, and I was like, I mean, I can get a manager, and she goes, yeah, do that. And I was like,
sick.
I was like, oh, we're for real.
Did you
Cool.
want something to drink while I get him?
Right. I was like, I love this interaction. Thank you so much. Like, I fucking cooked. You're right. You know what? We don't have them on the menu because I fucking took them off the menu.
Yes. I said those are gross. Take them off.
Yeah.
We're done with that shit.
You can't cook them for me? No. Guess what? I can't, because I don't have that
No.
fucking training, you dumb cunt. I was fucking done at this point. I was so fucking mad. And then the manager, I wanted to send a different manager. I wanted to send Fabulous Manager because I knew that he would just be like, okay, well, yeah, we don't have that on the menu. I'm so sorry.
Right. Those
he would have said
don't
it.
exist anymore.
Yeah, he would have
really
said it.
That's very unfortunate. I've had a lot of people lately asking for the Rockefeller.
Same.
Like a lot. Like I don't know if it's coming back into style in other restaurants or whatever. I don't know if it's like a reprise thing, you know, where everybody's like, ooh, get the, you know, because it's a very 70s item.
Yeah,
Oysters
it
Rockefeller
is.
is like a very 70s, 80s item. And now it's like coming back in or whatever. But in the last 2 months, I've probably had 6 people ask me,
Yeah.
hey, you don't have Oysters Rockefeller? No, we don't anymore. I'm sorry about that. I also really liked them. I thought they were great.
Yeah.
But no, we don't anymore.
And we don't have
over
them.
it.
We don't have a recipe for them. And since we are a corporate restaurant, we should not be making them, because if she ever goes to another location, she can then be like, well, this location made it for us. When
Yeah,
we're
or
not
God forbid
supposed
she
to.
just comes back here
And complains. The
and
minute she
says,
sits
well, I
down,
got
it's
them
gonna
last
complain.
time. Well, you
Yep.
fucking shouldn't have.
Yep. So I wanted to send Fabulous Manager because I knew that he would just be like, I'm really sorry, we don't have those, right? And he would do it in a nice way, in a professional way, and it would be,
Right,
you know,
and
she
it
might
would
be
be fine.
pissy, but fuck, I don't care. And then he ends up sending the other manager, he's like half kitchen, half front of house
Yeah.
manager, which I am absolutely in love with, my daddy. And he sends, Fabulous Manager sends him, and he, of course, just makes her the fucking Oysters Rockefeller, which I don't know what he made. I don't think
No,
it
he
was
just made
oysters.
baked oysters. That's all he could have done because
Yeah.
we don't have
We don't have the
half of
recipe.
the ingredients that we used to go on that. So
Yep.
there's no way he whipped that up in
No.
a flash. But he made something that was baked and oysters, and she got it. And
Yeah, and
good,
she ate them all, so
good
fuck
for
it, I
you.
guess.
But now she's gonna come back every fucking time and do the same fucking thing.
Yep.
That's what you have done.
Yeah.
You have said, hey, your minor complaint has led for me to change the menu for you.
Yeah. And then at the end, their meal itself, it was like soups and salads. It wasn't very much. And then the guy ends up getting a swordfish, which he sends back because he does every time. Like he cannot look at any entree that he orders and not send it back, even if it's cooked absolutely perfectly, because his swordfish was cooked absolutely perfectly. He goes, I like it a little bit more well done. I'm like, sir, it's
It's
well
cooked all
done
the
now.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's well done now. You're telling, okay, whatever. So I take it back. I do a refire ticket, whatever, it's fine. And it comes back and he goes, it's literally, though, when I'm taking this swordfish off the plate and putting it on like a little plate to bring back to the kitchen, he looks at me and he goes, everything is fantastic. Honestly, it tastes great. The sides are great. She's just, ugh. And I was like, whoa, okay. And, like right in front of her face. And I was like, wow, all right. And then at the end of their meal, she hands me the guest that they bring, hands me a card. And she goes, put it on this. And I say, okay. And then the couple hands me a card and they say, split it. So I say, okay. So I split it equally down the middle.
Right.
And then I bring it back to them and they're very confused. They meant split the seats. She wanted her food to be separate from their food.
Okay, but she didn't say put mine on this.
No,
she
she
said
didn't.
put it on this like she was going to cover the tab, and now we've decided to split the tab.
Right. Thank you. I was like, did I interpret that wrong?
No, that's how that's also how I would have done that, but I do also usually throw in that last little bit of 50-50 is how I ask people, especially if I see two cards. I'm just like, hey, 50-50? And then they're like, yeah, we're splitting it. And I'm like, okay, cool.
When they handed it to me, I go, okay, split down the middle. And nobody corrected me.
Sure.
So I just said, I just went to. And
also, she should have to pay more. She's a problem.
Right.
So,
I also didn't want to talk to this table at all anymore.
No,
like, I
I'm
was
done with
super done talking to this table. And so I was just like, whatever, it's fine. So I bring it back and they're very confused and they're angry and upset that, well, why are her oysters on my tab? And I was like, oh, it's just the itemized receipt for everything. And they go, well, it's the same price. Why did you charge us the same price? And I was like, I split it down the middle. And the guest that they brought was like, oh, no, I just wanted to pay for my food. I don't understand why I'm not paying for my food. And I'm like, okay, it's fine. I can just readjust the price.
Let me adjust that for you.
Yeah,
relax.
it's not even a second charge. You're not going to get a pending this and that, blah, blah, blah. Like,
just give me a fucking second.
It's fine. Just give me a minute. I'll fix this. You'll have one charge to your credit card. And I bring it back and then I hand it to them. And then, of course, the fucking lady on the couple was just like, do you have your itemized receipts for these two? And I was like, of course, I'll print that out for you. And so I go back and I print that out for them as well. And I'm so fucking done talking to this table. I was heated.
Yeah, you were going through it.
Oh,
like,
my
you're
God.
3 tables in, possibly getting your 4th soon.
It's
and you were
4:15 and I'm ready to hang myself from the fucking stairs out back. Like, I was so fucking done with every single one of these tables. I fucking hated them. I was lead server tonight, so I was stuck in that fucking 3-table section. It sucked.
One of those tables, I don't know which table because I didn't watch them get sat with you, but I do believe it was either 72 or 73 because it was not 3 people. It was 4 people. So I don't know which table of 4, but they were originally walked into the bar, which is where I was, or into the lounge area, right? Which is very clean and very put together, and we only have 3 TVs, and the music isn't blaring. Like, I'm prefacing this because 2 people get in and they start to sit down, and the third one makes it just past the cusp of into the bar.
Yeah.
And she goes, I don't want to sit in the bar. Oh, no. I'm not joking.
The blonde one?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck her. She was the one that was rude to me the whole time.
Perfect. So that's who it was. She literally, I'm not joking, I only had 2 tables at this moment. One, like, in the very front, and then one in the middle of the bar. And I had 3 open tables, and she was just like, oh, no. Like, calm the fuck down. Calm down. First and foremost, I'm very nice. Like, you're missing out on a very nice server. Yeah. Secondly, again, we are not the kind of, like, dive bar-esque, like, oh, you walk into the bar and it's a different world than it is in the rest of the restaurant. You know, like, our bar isn't separated super far away from the rest of the restaurant.
No,
we don't have peanut shells thrown all across the floor. Like, calm the fuck down. Calm down. It's a good table. It's a very nice, big, rounded booth.
Yeah.
You all have space. It's, like, it's comfortable. Like, God forbid we tried to give you a nice booth, but she threw a whole ass fit. The first couple had already sat, and then get up, and the one lady who had sat down was like, okay, I guess we're not sitting in the bar. And I kind of gave her a look like, well, you're missing out. Like, oh, well, what are you going to do?
Yep.
And then, so they get walked to you.
Yeah.
And then
they were great. Loved them.
I get nothing else until they try to take a table of 5 or 6 to me. And as they're walking to the table, I guess they spoke to the host and were like, oh, we don't really want to sit in the bar. So they all waited by the entry to the bar. So there's just like 6 people standing around. And so I walk up because now I have drinks, like refills for one of my tables. And I go, hey guys, what's up? Like, why is everybody just fucking standing
why
here?
are you
You're taking up a
converging?
mass amount of space and nobody's sitting at the bar top. So I'm like, hey guys, are we waiting on a table? Like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, we're just, the host is going to check on a different table for us. And I go, oh, okay, I'm pretty cool. And like
Oh,
two of
no.
them start laughing, and they're just like, "Oh no, it's just we didn't really want to sit in the bar." And I go, "No, it's okay, I get it." And I just like keep walking because this is the second table tonight that has done that to me, and I'm just
You
like,
ruined their week.
and I'm just like, "No, it's cool." And they got sat at 61, so they went over, and then like I walked past, and I was just like just playing into it,
Yeah,
right?
of
And the
course.
one woman saw me and she was dying. She thought it was hysterical. But so I swing by the host stand and I was like, hey, can you let people know that like I'm good at my job and that like they might enjoy sitting with me? And they were like, ha ha ha, yeah. And I was like, okay, great. To which then I got a 5 top and then immediately a 6 top.
Yeah, of course.
And they were like, and then they come and tell me, hey, we sat you another table. And I went, fucking great. Because
Yeah.
I also got self-seaters at that moment, too.
Yep.
And I didn't say, please sit me all the tables. I just meant, like, hey, go ahead and let people know that, like, the bar isn't, like, this dingy, dark corner of our restaurant. It's just like, and I was joking. Obviously, you're not going to say anything to the guest. If they don't want to sit in the bar, they don't want to sit in the bar. But that's wild because we get so many people who specifically request the bar.
I would
Like,
say a lot of the times bars more poppin' than like
to almost
sometimes our main
always.
floor. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, I'm a little offended, but it's fine. I was like, I look super cute today. I don't know what you're talking about. You guys should come and sit with me.
You did. You looked incredible.
I went all out. I mean, not, my makeup's not crazy, but this hair took me a minute, especially because my boyfriend kept like trying to like get in my space. And I was like, I told him, because I don't do my hair well, right? Like I'm still learning
Yes,
how
you
to like,
do.
no, well, I don't do it well, like in the process of it. I'm still learning how to get it all into place.
Okay.
And he's coming into the bathroom and he wants to like lean over me or he's like kissing me here or this or that. And I literally pushed him out of the bathroom and I was like, hey, I have a limited amount of time with these arms. Please stay out there. And he's all, what are you talking about? I go, my arms get
I
tired.
can't hold them above my head.
They
for
get
that
really
long.
tired. And if you're standing here while I'm trying to wrap a bun, it's a problem. Anyways, it ended up being super cute. So, yeah, so then they double seat me and I'm like, great. That's so great
As
for
you're
me.
getting self-seaters, so yeah.
Right,
triple
so it's
seat,
a triple
essentially.
seat, and I'm just like, no, it's cool. And then one of our new front of house leads / hosts came and talked to me. She's like, hey, I'm really sorry. I thought I was helping you out because I was like, oh, let's sit Bunny again because she really wants more tables, which I do. And I looked at her, I said, yeah, just properly timed tables.
Yeah.
And she goes, no, and that's totally fair. I'm really sorry. And I was like, no, you're so cool. Thank you for apologizing. Like, because it ended up being fine. All of those tables ended up being super chill.
I'm kind of
Nobody
surprised
was
she
a problem.
apologized. She normally, like, because when you first said something, she was like, don't shoot the messenger, and, like, walked away and kind of had a little bit of attitude. And I was like,
Did she
okay,
really? I
yeah.
didn't catch that. I just went, okay, great. And then I went about what I was doing.
Yeah, she had a little bit of attitude about it. And I was like, ew, I hated that. But I didn't.
Her and I get along fantastically. Like,
Yeah.
when it's just her hosting and me on shift, we're having a blast. So I didn't think she would take what I said the wrong way. And
Yeah.
if she did in the moment, that's cool. But yeah, she came to apologize, I think because we are so cool.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, you're fine. Like, I even told her, I go, hey, I'm here to make money. Like, it all worked out. Just properly timed.
Yeah.
That's all I ever ask. Like, I can handle 7 tables. Properly timed
Yep.
7 tables.
If they're 5 to 10 minutes in between each person sitting down, I'm great.
I'm fantastic.
I could handle 9 at that point.
That's what I'm saying. Even give me more. But my section today technically could have held 7, right?
Yes.
So yeah, I can handle that. That's fine. But when they're not properly timed, nobody can handle it.
Yeah.
It's too many things at one time. And then I did have one really needy table right at that moment too.
Ugh, yeah.
One of my tables, the 6 top of that 5 and 6 that I got sat, the woman she's like the head of the table, you could tell by how she was acting. And she was like, we're ready. And I was like, fantastic. What are you having? And she's like, I'll have the halibut. I go, great. Do you want it crusted? Because we have a very popular crusted halibut. Do you want it grilled? I actually want it blackened. Fantastic. So I write that down. I put the order in. Food comes out. Food runner's coming to me. Hey, she wanted salmon. No, the fuck she didn't.
No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. Because you want to know what I'm never asking anybody when they order salmon? Do you want it crusted?
Because we don't offer that as like a
And also,
menu
that's
item.
just not a very common thing for people to crust the salmon. Like, it's weird. Salmon's already very sweet. You don't want to add whatever. I've never asked that. So I just went, okay, great. So we get the salmon working, and they're like, same sides? I go, duh. Like, what the fuck?
Duh.
No, she changed her mind on the sides, too. I don't fucking know. I didn't talk to her. So I finish up what I'm doing, and then I go by the table, and I said, hey, we're going to get that salmon out to you as soon as we can. I'm sorry about that. And she looks at me, and she goes, did I say the wrong thing? And I was like, hey, I heard halibut, but hey, whatever. And she's like, oh, I think I said halibut. I go, you did, but it's cool. And all of me was like, buddy, shut the fuck up. Like, you don't
stop.
have to,
Yeah.
I don't have, I don't have
to be right.
I don't have to rub it in. But at the same time, yeah, bitch, you were wrong. You were wrong. And don't let that reflect on my tip. Because you were, and she wasn't like overly apologetic, but she was definitely like, oh, I did that, didn't I? And I was just like, you did. It's cool. Like, I was very nice about it.
That also must have felt nice, though, because usually guests
People don't
like,
do that. People never do that. So it was very much, and I wanted to let her know in the nicest way I could, like, you did order the wrong thing, but it's super cool. We will have it out to you.
it's not a problem.
And then it came out, and she was super happy with it, and it's like, I'm clearing plates, and she's like, oh my gosh, I don't even think I can eat my potato. She had like 3 bites. She goes, it's just so much food. And I was like, do you want a box? She's like, no, I don't want a box. Do you want dessert? Oh, I couldn't fathom it. Anyways, they were very nice, and they tipped a perfect 20%.
Nice.
So it all worked out just fine. But all of that was happening at the same time.
Yeah.
You know? So tonight, on the floor, not in my section or yours, a fight broke out between tables.
Yes, it did.
I haven't encountered this, I think, ever. I've had tables, we've talked about this before, I've had tables make rude comments about other tables, like about them being too loud.
Yeah.
I've even had tables complain to managers about other tables being too loud. Like, this was only a couple weeks ago, I was in the bar, and my 32 was complaining about 91 because they're back to back.
Yeah.
And they're being obscenely loud. And I was like, I'm sorry, what was that? Because I literally could not fucking hear them. And they're like, they're being too fucking loud. And I go, they are. You're right.
Yeah.
And like, I wholly agreed with them. But they were also 12 bottles deep of wine that they fucking brought. Or 5, whatever the fuck it was. But
sure
yeah.
it wasn't 12. But
it wasn't 12, but it was a party of like 15.
And they brought their own
and they
wine,
brought
yeah.
all these bottles of wine that they had already opened. And I was like, guys, I'm really sorry. Anyways, they did complain to the managers. But they told me repeatedly, it's not your fault. We understand, but this is too much for us. Mm-hmm. So we sped through their meal, and they tipped me over 20%. Because they're like, we're really, like, the woman was even like, I never do this, but I need to talk to somebody. So I brought a manager over, and they were like, yeah, we're really sorry. You know, we've asked them to kind of tone it down a little bit. Because we had, like, somebody had gone by and been like, hey, you guys need to, like, shh. Like,
this is a restaurant. Yeah.
Right. Other people are also trying
to
enjoy their meals. So that same kind of thing happened tonight, except the tables interacted with each other.
Yeah.
Which I have never had happen before.
Absolutely wild.
Well, except that one time that total fight broke out. In the bar, and they were like ready to fight, like physically fight each other.
Yeah.
That's season 1, because I'm pretty sure I talked about that.
Yeah, you did.
But yeah, so 97 was a party of 10 or 12.
Something like that, yeah.
And then 94 was just a 3-top that had gotten sat at one of our tables. They were like, they wanted a table as opposed to a booth, so they got sat over there. And I guess the 10-top or whatever it was getting a little rowdy, like getting a little rambunctious. And so 94 called out to them.
Yeah.
And said they're being too loud.
No, the 94, the old lady sitting at 94 turned around and told them to shut up. Those are the exact words. Yeah, she looked at them and told them to shut up. And then I guess, okay, I don't know how much of this information you have, but this is what I was told, is that one of the ladies at the 10-top turned around and started threatening her, telling her
saying that they would take it outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. She was like, oh, okay, if you want, we'll take it outside, or something to that measure.
Yes.
And so then I found out much later in the evening by Auntie S. She told me that the original lady that told everybody to shut up then spent about 20 minutes crying in the bathroom
yeah.
because she felt threatened. And it's like, yeah, you did that. You
right,
did that.
You're the one that started that altercation, and now and I guess the daughter said something about she has dementia, like early stages, so, you know, sometimes she just says things and blah, blah,
you just shout out or whatever.
Okay, but also, you started that altercation. You're a 90-year-old white woman screaming at a table of minorities to shut up.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
How did you think that was going to go?
I'm going to say it because this is the 3rd instance I've had of old white women being like loudly microaggressive or even like macroaggressive.
Yeah, obviously aggressive.
To an Asian person in my section. The 3rd time this week I have witnessed that. So I'm sorry, but your 90-year-old ass is going to turn around and scream shut up at another table and then sit around and cry because, oh my God, I'm just feeling really threatened, and they
Also,
talk
then-
back to me.
Then
Fuck
leave.
you.
Then leave. No offense, but I couldn't imagine being anywhere where I felt quote unquote threatened and staying for the rest of my meal.
And just enjoying it,
Yeah.
right?
And then making a big scene by going to the bathroom and crying. Obviously, somebody told somebody that she was crying in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Whether she came back out and announced it, or whether it was like told by the table or by another table or by another server, that spread around the restaurant.
It really did.
So,
And
you
all I
have
could-
announced
yep.
to somebody that you just spent at least 10 minutes crying in the bathroom, fucking leave.
Yeah.
Nobody asked for you to have that outburst, and also the repercussions of that outburst are on you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All I could think of was white woman tears,
Yeah,
screaming and trying to get that fucking party of 10 kicked out.
Yeah,
You're-
and
sorry.
then, oh, pity me, they were mean to me. Well, you were mean first.
You were mean first.
This
That's
is the
what
same
happens.
thing. You're driving on the road, you want to fucking honk at somebody and flip them off, and they want to flip you off back, you're going to cry about it?
Right.
Like, what the
Yep.
fuck? That was insane. That was absolutely insane. To which Auntie S looks at me and she's like, yeah, this bigger white woman, because Auntie S is also of Asian descent,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, yeah, so a bigger white woman was like afraid of this smaller Asian woman, and I was like, yeah. And she goes, well, are you afraid of me? And I go, incredibly.
Yeah. You.
Auntie S scares the shit out of me.
Same.
Like, she's
Absolutely same.
super cool, and I love her most of the
she's
time.
78 pounds soaking wet.
Yeah,
and
oh
she
yeah,
will
she's maybe 78 pounds.
take me out hands down.
Oh,
Hands down.
she's got bodies in her backyard. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
she's crazy.
terrified of her. But I love her. And she's like, you're not
So-
helping. She's like, you're not helping this situation. Like, she wanted to prove a point. I was like,
Yeah.
you're not making it. You specifically, Auntie S, are not making that point.
No.
But no, that was crazy. So we had our fabulous manager was standing by. He was standing by the entire time after that because we
Yep.
were expecting more to happen because the party did,
Yeah.
And the funniest part of the whole thing was I was standing right there when they brought desserts out to the larger party.
Mm-hmm.
And
they
it was a
started
birthday.
yelling,
It
"Happy
was
birthday!"
a birthday. Not only were they screaming happy birthday,
Yeah.
they're clapping, they're stomping their feet. Like, it was a scene.
Yep.
And 94 was still there, just like cowered over.
Yeah,
And it's-
hovering over their food, trying
Yeah.
to fucking eat, scared out of their minds. Get the
Scared
fuck out
of
of
what?
here.
Like, shut up. Either you say it and you mean it, or you never say it at all.
Right.
Like, I can understand if people are being absolutely fucking wild, just turning around and being like, "Hey guys," it's like,
No,
just
I
even
would-
just "Hey guys," and that would be all that I would say. Like, "Hey, pay attention to other people around you." And if anybody yelled back at me, I'd be like, "Okay, cool." Like,
I would never in my life say anything to another table.
I wouldn't
because
either.
you don't know how they're gonna take that information.
Right.
Like if it's that much of a issue
ask
for
to
you,
move.
ask to move your table.
Yeah.
Talk to a manager, be like, hey, I'm really sorry. This table's just having a really good time and it's overwhelming for me. Do you mind if I move to a different table somewhere?
Yeah. Is there anywhere a little bit tucked away from them?
Yes.
And there was
100%.
at that point. I had
So
open
many.
tables. There was open tables in the Cove. There was open
Yes.
tables in the 60s. Like, we could have accommodated you somewhere else,
Absolutely.
but instead you wanted to be a bitch about it, and you got treated like a bitch. Like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And then you cried in the bathroom for fucking 20
and
minutes.
then told
because
people
felt-
that you cried in the bathroom. Like, shut the fuck up.
Absolutely
that was
not.
crazy. But yeah, so Fabulous Manager was standing by
Yeah.
for the majority of the rest of the time that they were
Mhm.
there. And I was just like, this is wild. Like, I haven't had that happen in so long.
It was so stupid. So stupid. I hated that. Something else I fucking could not believe happened is the other day, pretty little thing comes up to me and she goes, I just found this on a table. And she hands me a perfectly clean, no
Oh my God.
rust, no nothing,
No
And I was-
anything. Empty,
empty,
like washed clean.
dishwasher washed clean salt shaker. And we were working at the night. So there was absolutely no way that the day shift had just forgotten to refill the salt shaker.
Also, those
had
salt
not
shakers
done it.
have never been empty in the entirety of the time. They're big salt shakers. They are not
Mm-hmm.
little tiny table salt. It's like a cylinder that could hold almost a Coke can.
Yes.
That's how big our salt shakers are.
Of
And there's one
sea
at every
salt,
single, of sea salt, flaky sea salt, at every single table.
Yeah.
And they had left behind an empty salt shaker.
After she went to clean it after a table had gotten up. And this was a a table of regulars that do come in every once in a while. They're very needy. They're like not really all that easy to deal with. But she was like, this is really after they got up and left. She comes up to me. She's like, this is really weird. All I can know, this is what I know, and I know this, and I don't think anyone else believes me, but I'm so sure that this is what happened.
I looked at that salt shaker. I am positive of this.
I think that another time that they had come in, they stole a salt shaker.
Yep.
Filled with salt. And then when it emptied at home,
they came back,
cleaned it, washed it, came back into the restaurant, and then took our full salt shaker that was on the table and left the empty one there.
Right. They had to.
Yes.
Because even when I refill the salt, and I do clean off like the edge, right? Mm-hmm. It is never salt free. Like that lid, never. The metal lid that I take off the glass jar is never salt free when I refill it.
Yes.
It always has remnants of salt. Mm-hmm. This bottle was impeccably clean. Span. I've never seen it like this came out of the box brand new. What are you talking about? Where did they get it? They cleaned it.
Yeah.
And so they must come back when they need more salt.
Which is wild.
That's insane. You can buy the sea salt that we buy at Costco, and you can get the same buckets that we get at Costco for $8.99. It's not that big of a deal, guys. You can also probably order them on Amazon for cheaper. What are you doing?
Right?
You're going to wait until you run out of... Right, we're going to have an $80 meal and then steal
the salt.
And so I brought it up with the GM, and I was like, can you fucking believe this? And she laughed, obviously, because it's crazy. And she goes, well, at least they brought it back.
I mean, that's valid, I guess.
Because we have to keep buying those, when they break or whatever else. And she's like, well, at least they brought it back.
So weird.
I've never.
So weird.
Oh.
Yeah, that was a weird start to the day on Wednesday.
That was crazy. So, I was talking with Mama Bear. And she is upset about something. And I was like, hey, what's going on? She's like, you're not going to fucking believe this. And I was like, oh, dish. And so
feed me.
Yes, please. I have nothing to do. Like I have one table, I'm waiting for them to pay. I was like, what the fuck's up? This is the end of the night.
Yeah.
And she's like, hey, Arrogant server. I just was in the back sorting silverware. Arrogant server had his silverware set aside, like polished and everything in the black bins.
Yes.
So it's polished and ready for him to roll. And over it, he had laid one of our linens, the like white linens that we roll with. Mm-hmm. And he wrote his name on it, on the linen.
On the linen?
On the linen.
What?
With pen.
No, he didn't.
He wrote his name. And she's like, can you fucking believe that? I go, no. In fact, I can't. What the fuck? You don't have a piece of paper on you? That's what we do.
You have a server booklet filled with papers.
Filled with paper. And even if you don't, go get one. Go print out some receipt paper and then write your name on it. Or God forbid, just look around and be like, hey, fuckers, this is mine. Like, what are you doing? You took the time. That's not even easy to write on linen with big writing. She said all across it, it just said, Arrogant server. And I was like, shut the fuck up. Where is he? And she's like, he's in the back rolling at the little break table. I can't. I'm going to go yell at him. I fucking can't. To which you walked in to the beverage station and I looked around. I said, nobody tell Kat this story. This is my story now. I'm claiming it. Kat, walk away. And you were like, I'm leaving. Goodbye.
And then I ran out of the bev station. I was like, I can't wait to listen to this later.
Can you fucking believe that shit?
That's
I was like,
crazy.
I cannot believe that shit. So I go to the back and I was like, server, what the fuck? Like, and he's all, what? I was like, you wrote your name on a linen napkin? Well, I wanted to mark it as mine. I go, yeah, you permanently marked it as yours. We wash those. We send them out to be washed, and they come back. We don't throw them away. We don't
get new ones.
Right, we're not getting just brand new ones, and all of these get trashed. And he's like, well, I didn't know. And it's like, you
yes,
do
you
know
do.
that. And also take a minute out of your fucking life to look around and be like, hey, nobody else has ever done this before. Maybe I shouldn't do it.
There's a reason nobody's ever done it before.
To which I told him, I said, where is it? And he's like, I threw it away. I go, yeah, you did. Because otherwise you just fucking marked your whole ass name on it. And you put your government name on that bullshit. God. And you just said, hey, I did this.
Fucking, could you imagine?
If it went to the cleaners and they're like, hey, BT Dubs, who's Arrogant?
And then they sent it back as somebody goes to roll and they're just like, hello? Arrogant? What the fuck? Why is your name on this napkin? Absolutely not. And that's crazy.
That might have washed out depending on what kind of pen he uses, but it also might not have. because I get ink on my fucking apron and sometimes it doesn't wash out.
Yeah, it's done.
Know?
I
Like,
need a new apron.
Right.
Yeah.
So you just destroyed a linen. Now, granted, one linen, fucking whatever, right? But also, what are you doing? What do you do? How did you...
Does he do that every shift, though? If you think,
I don't think
this time
so.
it was one linen, but hey, what if it...
I've never seen that, and I work with him often, and I've never seen that before.
Have you ever watched him roll?
No. No, I have not. But I gave him... I looked and I was like, that was fucking dumb. Don't do that. Like, I really didn't like that. Don't do that.
Fucking
And he was
imbecile.
like, all right, well... And then fucking Great Value Clark Kent walks by. What do we call him?
Great Value Clark Kent.
Okay. Great Value Clark Kent walks by, and he's like, what's going on? And to which both of us answer, nothing. Because we're not going to spread this around, because I need to keep this story for me, and I needed to tell you at a separate...
I'm spreading this story around tomorrow.
Seriously, what the fuck are you doing?
What a fucking idiot.
Ugh, I was laughing so hard.
So, something that I have been meaning to bring up the last couple of weeks, but I haven't brought up, is months ago, I go to management and I say, hey, we really need to distinctly mark from the open restaurant and back of house. So when police come in, if police come in,
Right.
we have a space. They cannot enter, like ICE raids, cannot enter into employees only areas without a warrant. There's also two separate types of warrant. One of them is signed by a judge, and they are allowed to enter with that type of warrant. Another one is a different type of warrant that is not signed by a judge, and they will use that sometimes to try and say, oh, well, I have a warrant here. And if you don't know the difference, if you don't see, like, you know, the top is very clearly marked, whatever, you might just be like, oh, yeah, of course, thinking, you know, they have a warrant, come in, whatever. So months ago, I go to the entire management team and I say, we need to clearly mark back of house, front of house. We need to make sure that there is a safe area for anybody that works in our restaurant that may or may not be undocumented or may or may not, you know, need to have a place where they don't have to speak to cops.
Right.
And
also, enough guests walk into the kitchen area expecting to find the bathroom.
Right.
And these signs might deter them as well.
Right.
Where it says, you know, just employees only past this point.
Right.
Which exists in so many places I've ever been.
Every single
like,
one
hey,
of them,
you're on your way to
actually.
the bathroom, don't go into this one.
Yeah.
Because that's employees only.
Have you noticed how you see employees walking in and out of this area? Maybe don't go in there. That's not where you belong. Anyways. And I even like started quizzing a couple of our management team, like, do you know the difference between the two different types of warrant and blah, blah, blah. And just like giving them the updates about it. 2 weeks ago, fabulous manager looks at me and he goes, you will never guess what was sent to us by like higher ups, like high up in the corporate office, is a full packet of how to distinguish between two different types of warrants.
Finally.
And how to like... how, you know, if they have a single person on a warrant, you do not need to lead them to that person.
Right.
You can tell them like, okay, you have this warrant. Good luck. You know what I mean? Like you can find, if you, you know, can point them down, go ahead. And you know what I mean? Like the different steps of how to deal with an ICE raid. And Fabulous Manager was like, you know, what's so funny is we all looked at this and said, yeah, we know this. Because
of you.
Kat told us this is what we need to be doing with our restaurant. At the end of the day, our restaurant, 50% of it, the kitchen is 50% of the experience, right? That's maybe even more. That's a huge part of your experience is people cooking your food. Mm-hmm. Some of those people are going to be undocumented. Yeah. And in where we work in Southern California, the majority of some of kitchens, not necessarily our kitchen or kitchens I've worked in before, but a lot of kitchens in Southern California are majority undocumented. And if ICE were to come in and raid and take out even 40% of our kitchen, we'd be fucked. Yeah. We'd be absolutely fucked. And not just for a shift. No. We'd be fucked for weeks, months,
a lot of
until
those guys,
we can rehire.
Right. Like, well, a lot of those guys work 5 to 6 shifts a week. Yeah. And we count on them dearly. Like, I know all of them personally because I work with them so often. Mm-hmm. And and it's like, we've said this before, but it's like, okay, managers, are you cooking the food? Are you hopping back there?
No, obviously not.
I was going to say, because time and time again, it's been proven that even when they're on break, none of you can fucking cook it. None of you can jump back there and do the job that they do. I can't do it. I've openly admitted hundreds of times that I cannot work in a kitchen like they do. I can't do it.
No,
Not only do I not
don't
know
have the training, yeah.
Yeah, I don't have the training for it, but on top of that, I don't think I could handle it. That's
No,
not a job
that's
that
too
I
stressful.
think, that's not a job that I think I could take on. So are we really willing to put this all at risk because you guys don't want to fucking know the difference?
Right.
Or because you guys don't want to listen to maybe somebody that's trying to help?
And God forbid, ICE just comes in and says, round them all up. We'll figure it out later. We're fucked.
Yeah.
We're fucked.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was really funny that fabulous manager came to me and he was like, you'll never guess what I got.
That's crazy.
And all of us were just like, yeah, we know how to handle this. And it was all thanks to me. And I felt really good about that.
You
Thank
should.
you. Because
Well,
I've
we
been
put
on top
signs
of it.
up. We put signs up for the day.
Yeah,
So
they
there
were
were
taken down
signs,
pretty quickly.
and they weren't huge signs. They were like 8.5 by 11 signs, just one on top of each of the back doors or the doors into the kitchen, right? The doorways. We don't have like swinging doors.
And
just the doorway into the kitchen. And it was like so many people came in. They're like, "Oh, those are new." And I was like, "Yeah, I clocked them immediately. Like the moment I swiped my card to clock in, I was like, those are new." But I didn't hate it. It didn't like deter from my experience at the restaurant.
No.
But GM came in and was like, "Absolutely the fuck not. Take those down.
Yeah.
Those are disgusting. They're so ugly."
All it
they're
said was
pieces of-
employees only.
It just said warning employees only. That's it. That was the whole piece of paper. So like, calm down.
Yeah.
But also it was like, no, those aren't a standard or this or that. And it's like, well, maybe they fucking should be.
Something needs to be to standard, like regardless of it. But that day I had so many people be like, well, that's not going to stop guests from walking in here. And I looked at them and I said, it's not meant to.
Right. We're
And
not worried about the guests.
Yeah, and they were very
that
much
wants
like,
to go to the bathroom in the back. That's fine. We walked tonight. We had to help an elderly woman out of the kitchen because she almost fell after walking in.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, she got like 7 or 8 steps in and then slipped a little, like not to the ground. She just like was very unsteady because it is slippery back there.
That's why we
wear non-slips.
Yeah.
And she was like, "Oh," and then 2 people were like, "Hey, ma'am, out this way," and they had like hands on elbows, right? Like,
Yep.
"Oh, no, go back out to where you belong." But it happens
So where you belong.
That's right. Stay out of my space. This is my space. I'm paid to be here. But no, it's like that happens so often that guests just like storm right back. And it's like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like the tile's different. Like everything about the back of house is different than the front of house. Also, when have you ever walked right past somebody cooking food
to the bathroom?
to get to the
Yeah.
bathroom? Like if I ever make it so deep into the back of a restaurant, I'm like, I'm in the wrong space, right? Because I've been to some sushi places where it's like, they're like, no, literally walk through the back. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. And they're like, no,
doing
right
that.
past the dish pit. I don't want to do that. Please don't make you don't have anything closer. I'll go outside. Like it's
I'll go to the parking lot. Never mind.
it's chill. I've got napkins in my car. But yeah, no, God forbid.
But yeah, it was very much, everyone's like, that's not going to deter any of our guests. And I was like, yeah, it's
doesn't
not
matter.
meant to. It's
No.
meant to deter cops
Right. It's
from being able to get
we
into
are
that area.
legally binded, or they are legally binded to not go past into
In
employees only
areas,
section
yeah.
because they are not employees. So
Exactly.
fantastic.
But they can walk around in the front of a,
Sure.
what is it called? Like a public space.
Yeah. Just a public space. I don't know.
Yeah, like a public restaurant or any place where it's not, like where you could film and say, well, you don't have an expectation of privacy type
Right.
deal. Like they can walk around and they can go in and they can, ask questions and this and that, da da da. And I've been very much prepared to
Right.
like, hey, guess who's screaming ice?
Yeah.
In the front of the restaurant, like towards everybody.
Yeah.
Because whether it be busser, whether it be bartender, whether it be back of house, you're going to know if somebody is on the premises that maybe isn't there to eat.
Yeah.
So-
it isn't there for good,
Yeah.
normal reasons.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to know, and I'm going to be the one to tell you.
Yeah.
And I've been preparing for that for a long time, and I've been preparing management for that for a long time because the city that we work in specifically came out with like an affidavit. Is that what it's called?
I think so.
Saying, we will comply with all ICE raids and we will make sure that these
I don't talk
are...
to cops.
Yeah.
Good luck. You're
yeah,
gonna ask me
exactly.
questions. I don't know.
I'm just gonna start screaming ice. I don't know what you're
I'm gonna start speaking in Spanish. That's the first thing you're getting from me, ¿qué? I'm the whitest girl.
¿Por qué?
But yeah, I'm gonna be like, ¿qué?
¿Qué quieres?
No comprendo.
No habla español.
No habla inglés. I don't know. No sé. No say. And they're going to be like, all right, fuck you. I'm whiter than half the cops on deck right now.
Yeah. I'll never forget one time, it was either a fight or something had happened on premise. And it was when I first started working. So I was working behind the bar, but I had interacted with a certain person, and old manic pixie dream girl manager that we had called the cops. And the cops come into the restaurant and they come up to me and they start asking me questions, and I'm just looking at them, not saying a fucking word. And manic pixie dream girl's like, well, okay, like tell them what happened. And I was like, no, I don't talk to cops. And she goes, what? And I was like, she was so
She's counting on you.
Yeah, she was
like,
so
you had
confused.
firsthand knowledge of this interaction. No, I didn't. I don't know that man.
I literally was just like, yeah, I don't talk to cops. And I walked towards the back.
Right.
And the cop was like, well, I just need to ask you a few questions. And I was like,
You don't,
I was
actually.
like, okay.
Am I
And
being-
I just kept walking.
Am I being detained?
She was so confused. It was
Wild.
I
She's never considered that you just don't have to talk to them.
well, no, of course not, because she was like 24 and very like, oh my God, they're here to protect me. No, the fuck
Right.
they're not. Don't bring them into our place of work. Like,
No.
get the fuck out of here. But yeah, it was very funny watching back, I guess, like in my memory, that interaction of her just being like, when are you,
What are you talking
what's happening right now? Why aren't you like, I called him here for you. And I'm like, well, I didn't need him. I don't know what the fuck you're doing.
about? I got shit to do in the back.
No, I gotta roll silverware.
I was just going to say
I'm
that.
a bartender. I don't even do it. I'm just like, I gotta do something. That was really funny.
So I had something happen tonight
Oh no.
to more of an extent than it has happened before.
Okay.
So I had a table leave me. So they had 2 gift cards, and then the remaining of their bill went onto a credit card. And then at the end, after everybody had left, I go to put in that tip, and it was a $30 tip, so like a decent tip. Their bill was higher than a $30 tip, but hey, that's fine, like whatever. And it was declined. So I try to put it in, it's declined. I try it again, it's declined. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna give it a couple minutes. Like sometimes different terminals are down, and
Yeah.
they can't like register the processing of it or whatever, because not all of our terminals work great every time. So I was like, it's cool, I'll go do it on another terminal. Like I'm not even worried at this point. I've had this happen before, so I'm like, oh, I'll go try it in the main dining. So I head over to the main dining area and I try it over there. Like 5 minutes later, declined. And I was like, shut the fuck up. And so I try it one more time at yet another terminal. So I've now used 3 terminals and it says declined. And I was like, fuck. So on a $260 tab, I'm now not getting anything.
Yeah.
I can't collect a tip at all because we're only allowed to put in the tips that are given to us. It's not like I can just go, oh, well, I'll take $20 then, like I can't do less. And just because whatever you signed for, that's what's approved. Nothing more, nothing less. That's what it is. And so I go to Fabulous Manager and I was like, hey, so this isn't going through and I don't know what to do about that. Like I've only been like straight up stiffed by people a couple of times. And usually when it's a bigger amount of money, sometimes the restaurant will compensate me like, hey, let's at least cover the tip out or this or that,
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, we don't have a budget for that. And I was like, okay, well, you do.
Yeah, you do.
Somewhere
You have
in
petty
there.
cash. You
Yeah, I was like,
absolutely
you
do.
have something. We used to keep like a decent amount of petty cash. I don't know if we do that anymore. I'm not back there. I'm not a part of that anymore. So we used to, at some point, have a petty cash like envelope or whatever. And it was never very much, but it was enough for if these instances happen,
Right.
you can be like, hey, don't worry about that. Or like, God forbid you have a walkout and now you're just totally fucked on a table or whatever. So he was just like, yeah, I don't know. And he was like, well, once a card's been authorized, even if they don't have the money in their account, it should still go through because it's been authorized for an amount. So your bank should just allow to account for a tip,
Right.
Like for restaurants specifically, banks account for a tip, right? And I was like, yeah, well, it's not working. And so I went out and I told you, I think
Yeah,
I
you
think
were
I'm
really bummed.
I think I'm fucked on this. And that's, they got oysters, they got appetizers, they got drinks from the bar. So I'm tipping out every single person in this restaurant, including the host for sitting the table.
Yep.
And it's all out of pocket for just this one table. I understand that I got tips from other tables, but I'm still out of pocket for this table.
Yeah.
And that's not why I'm here,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I was a little bit bummed about that. So I try it one more time on our main terminal in front of Fabulous Manager, and it runs through. And I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a 20% tip, but I don't care. Even
It
if
covers
it was
the tip out.
It covers the tip out and then a little bit more for me.
And a little bit more, yep.
Fantastic. I made $20 off of that table. Great. I'm so happy. So I was just like, oh, fucking thank you. But that's all, like, that instance has only happened one or two other times, but it's never been, like, where it never went through. It's always, like, a couple minutes later, the system, like, reboots, and then it's fine. So it's like, oh, okay, no big deal. But our system was not rebooting, you know? There was nothing wrong with our computers today. It just kept saying declined.
And at 3 different terminals, I would have been crying.
I was so upset because, like, you paid for most of your bill with a gift card, with 2 different gift cards. Mm-hmm. And so only, like, $50 went onto this guy's card.
Yeah.
And so you don't have $80.
Like,
you don't have $80. Like, I'm really sorry if you don't, but then why did you leave that for me?
Also, why are you going out to eat and ordering all of that? Like, I understand if you have $200 in gift cards, you go out to eat and you try to get like $200 worth of food, sure. But also, you don't have multiple oysters, multiple appetizers, multiple this, multiple that.
But also, he happily left that $30. Like, he handed that to me with a smile on his face, you know? He's like, yeah, this is for you. And I was like, oh my God, thank you so much. And I was like, what was this, like a ha ha ha, you're not getting it? Like, I thought we had a great time. Like, what are you doing? Why didn't you just write nothing? Like, if you have nothing to give. So it was a little stressful for a couple of minutes. Sweet Pea came to me, and she walked through the kitchen, and she's like, have you ever had it say, because I guess she ran a card.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, have you ever had it say stolen card? And she walked past me, and I went, I have, actually.
I've never seen that.
I have. And so I went back, and I found her, because all I was doing was, like, taking bread to a table. So I dropped it, and I came back, and I said, hey, real quick, before you talk to the table, like, before you just assume that the card is stolen, tell the table that the card's not running. Because when it happened to me at this restaurant, what had happened was they had put their card on hold and forgot to take it off of hold. And they had it on hold because they thought their card was stolen a week prior, but then they found it in their house. So when I walked up and I said, hey guys, I'm really sorry, this card isn't working, the guy's like, oh, what? And then he told me the story, oh my God, we thought it was stolen. And I had it blocked off. Let me unlock it. Like, I just unlocked it. I'm so sorry about that. And I was like, hey, it's cool. What he didn't know is that it literally said stolen card on my end.
Yeah.
Because I don't say, if payments get declined, I don't say fuck all to guests. I just go, oh, this isn't working on my registers. Or like,
I always do that, yeah.
My terminal's not accepting your card. I'm so, do you have another card I could try? Like, I'm never going to say the word declined.
No, never.
Ever. What, and then for us, it says declined and then usually a reason, like server not found or stolen card or
insufficient funds.
Yeah, insufficient funds. Like, I'm never going to go to somebody and be like, you're broke. Like,
you broke, bitch. Give me a different card. No,
try
never.
again. No, not at all.
I always tell them, I was like, my terminal just really doesn't seem to like this card. Do you seem to have another one? Like, I 100% blame it on the server.
Super casual about it. Or like, is this card in date? You know, like, or whatever. Like, you make it. And so I told her, I go, hey, let the guests know that it's just not working and see if they have a solution to that afterwards, you know? And if they hand you a card with an entirely different name, then you know it's stolen.
Yeah.
But also, like, don't immediately jump on, like, oh my God, they've stolen,
these
like...
thieves!
Right.
Yeah.
Also, we had a person come in for a to-go order.
Yeah.
A couple days ago. It's been a wild fucking week.
It really has,
if
yeah.
I can express how off the vibes have been all week. Like, just some whack-ass shit has been happening.
It's the Lord's week. He's coming back tomorrow, and everybody said, fuck service people.
But it's not, it's just like, it's the guests and their attitudes, and then just also just everything in the world. Like, my son had a fucking off week. My friend's kids had off week. Like, everything's kind of been, like, really off.
And I've just been sitting at home playing Assassin's Creed on my new PS5, having the time of my fucking life. I'm gonna be honest.
So happy for you.
Thank you.
But yeah, so this lady comes in to pick up her to-go, to which she was handed her to-go.
Yep.
And
as she handed them a card.
As she handed them a card to go pay, and when they went to go run the card, she bounced.
Yeah, she ran for it. With her little fucking ugly ass dog.
Yeah, I didn't even see her. I didn't even know who it was. So she just booked it, and she just handed a fake card over.
Yep.
Like maybe a card she found on the ground or whatever, but obviously the payment was declined, and so we couldn't run for it.
What a risk, though, because I would say my first thought, and I said this to the manager, I was like, yeah, well, maybe we don't hand them the food before they pay for it. And he goes, yeah, that's really smart. We should probably implement that. Why are you not?
Why are you not already? I have never handed anybody the food first. I have literally been like, yeah, so here's your bill.
Yes.
Because I've done food running before here numerous times, and I hand them the bill, and I go, "This is your John."
While we're
okay,
packing
John.
it up, yeah.
Even if it's the bag sitting behind me, they don't know that.
Nope.
This is your bill. Okay, fantastic. Yeah, I've got your food right here for you. Behind me.
Yes.
You're gonna have to get through me.
Yeah.
So hand me your card. And if I take your card and you walk around and grab whatever bag that is, well, you might not be getting your food, first of all. And secondly,
you're getting whatever's in that bag.
I guess that's on me then. But yeah, I've always just brought the check to the guest. I don't bring the bag to the guest.
No, never.
And say, here you go. Take this from me, But also I worked, to-goes during COVID where some crazy fucking people would come in and be like, that's my food. And it's like, no, it's not. And they're like, no, that's my food. And it's like, this is a brown bag, motherfucker. You can't see through this.
Yeah, you don't know what's in there.
I promise you this is Stephanie's. This is Stephanie's. And they're like, I'm an order for John. And it's like, that's great. John's order's working in the back. Calm the fuck down. Like, oh my God. Working to-goes during COVID was fucking
wild.
Insane. Oh my God. But anyways, so she fucking just bounced out. And I was just like, did anybody get a good look at her? Like, would we recognize her if she came in again? Because
very standard what we normally see as guests. Like, I wouldn't say anything different. She's mid-40s,
right,
bleach blonde hair, ugly looking rat terrier chihuahua dog with a sweater vest on,
of course,
around her
so
harness.
cold out.
Right, Southern California, come on now. And yeah, I wouldn't say that she would stand out in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that's crazy. I've never had that happen. Like, that's also what a wild chance to take.
That's what I'm saying. Like
I've never gone anywhere.
Normally happen in most restaurants.
I get takeout from Olive Garden, right? And I'm not gonna bring a card that's not gonna work in hopes they hand me the bag first.
Right.
Like, that's a risk right? Because then it's just gonna get declined. They're gonna go, that's declined. And then you go, oh, darn, you got me. Like,
right, now what?
What was your backup plan to get that food? Just leave? You were just going to be like,
all right, not get it. Never mind.
Let me go get one out of my car and then just never come back.
You enjoy that food, I guess.
Yeah, like thanks for cooking it for nobody.
Right.
That's what it...
For the servers, like...
So, yeah, that was a mistake on the host part or whoever made that mistake. But also, why did she think that she could get away with that?
Yeah, weird.
I would never think that. You know?
Yeah, like I said, that's not a normal thing for restaurants to do. I don't think anyways. And so that was my first reaction. I was like, well, why did we hand her the food before we got payment? And they're like, yeah, we probably should implement that. Are you telling me that every time? Maybe that's how she knew. Maybe she's come in before.
I don't know who
takeout.
I don't know who was handing her. Also, how many fake cards do we have? Because I've never heard of this happening before.
Maybe she's come in before a couple of times with a real card, and she noticed that they always hand her the food first.
Oh, and she just said, oh, this is my old, like, expired card. I'm just going to hand this away.
Maybe thinking, like, but
did we write her name down? I don't know. Did we do anything about this?
I don't know.
It's one takeout order. Like, I don't really care. It's not my money.
$30 takeout order.
I don't really care. I just want to know, like, is there a solution to this other than obviously don't hand people stuff they haven't paid for?
Yeah. Weird.
What are you talking about?
Weird behavior. I ended my night tonight, though, on a good night. My last table is very sweet. I loved them so much. And they were not, like, super friendly, but I just had, like, a vibe with them. I was just having a good time. And I was, I liked being around them. And every time they did smile at me, I was just like, oh, yes, I got to smile, right? And then at the very end, the guy, it was a couple, an older couple, and the guy looks at me and he goes, what's your name? And so I tell him, Kat, and he goes, oh, okay, perfect. We're going to come back and we're going to ask for you. And I was like, I really hope you do. Like, I
love that.
Yeah, I was like, I really hope you do. I hope to see you guys again. And then apparently as they're walking out, they were raving about me to
fantastic.
To Magic the Gathering. First of all, can you say it to a manager?
Yeah,
maybe
or at
not
least
someone else in
host.
an apron.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need to tell somebody else in an apron. Can you tell somebody not wearing an apron? Because that would be really helpful for me. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And
or leave a review.
Even better, right? Yeah, but it felt nice to end my night. The way that it started was so bad. So in order to end my night on such like a sweet note with such a sweet couple and having them, you know, be like, we're going to come back regularly and we're going to sit with this person. Like, I was really excited about that, and I let Fabulous Manager know. I was like, hey, just so you know, that table just became regulars.
Yeah, I just got you some regulars. You're welcome.
And he goes, yeah, that's great. And he was obviously very excited about it. But yeah, it was, what a wild fucking week.
It really has been. And very much not looking forward to the shit show that will be tomorrow.
No, tomorrow's going to be crazy.
Holy fucking shit. Tomorrow's going to suck balls.
But we're going to come in. We're going to work one speed. And we are going to...
Nothing's going to be a problem. I'm going to be caffeinated. I'm going to be awake. I'm going to be well rested. And I'm not going to give a fuck about anything other than... It's just dinner. It's fine. It's just dinner.
There'll be another one tomorrow. But also, if anything goes wrong, let me grab a manager for you.
I'm going to grab all 3 of them.
Let me get a manager for you.
Sorry, all 2 and our front of house lead.
That's...
You want to get knocked the fuck into a position? This is going to be rough.
Yeah. It's going to be rough on everybody. And at the end of the day, every slight inconvenience with my tables, let me go grab my manager for you. Because they put us in this situation. They did this to themselves. And if GM, you know, wants to take holidays off because she's just really not feeling it, and she doesn't work Sundays, so she's just not going to work this Sunday because it's not that big of a holiday.
But if Easter were to fall on a Tuesday, guess who would have to work? I would.
Right.
So shut the fuck up.
No, but she doesn't want to work it. So she's going to get all of the complaints. She's going to get all of the server errors. She's going to get all of the kitchen errors. That whole report that's going to come in at the end of the day is not going to be pretty.
I don't think so.
And it's going to be due to her decisions. And there's nothing we can do about it. So work your one speed.
This is true.
And you know what I mean? Just go in with that understanding of just anytime something goes wrong, let me get a manager for you.
Yep.
Don't try to fix it. Don't even ask, can I fix it? Nope. Just get a fucking manager. Let them deal with it 100% of the time. Call it a wash. Tomorrow's going to be a wash.
Fuck.
You're going to make your hourly and maybe a little bit more.
And hopefully some money. Yeah. All right. Let's check the fuck out.
Yeah. Let's get ready for tomorrow.
Happy Easter.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Rolling Silverware Podcast. If you are enjoying the post-shift shit talk, please feel free to rate it. Tune back in next week for our shift shenanigans.